After weeks of testimony, closing arguments are expected to begin as soon as tomorrow in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. The jury will have to decide whether the 35-year-old mother should be held criminally responsible for the killing of her 3 children. Prosecutors say Clancy's actions were calculated and methodical. The defense argues she was driven by postpartum psychosis combined with antidepressant drugs. It's a trial that has gripped global attention and fueled online discourse, putting postpartum mental health in the spotlight. Joining us now, NBC News correspondent Stephen Romo and NBC News legal analyst Misty Marris. Nice to see both of you. Let's talk first, Stephen, about this prosecution's rebuttal witness here, a forensic psychiatrist who evaluated Lindsay Clancy after the killings. He's back on the stand today. He tested on Friday that Clancy was not in a state of psychosis. What more are we expecting him to share? Yeah,
they really picked up right where they left off from Friday this morning. The cross-examination continuing from defense attorney Kevin Reddington, and things getting pretty tense on the stand with Dr. Avram Mack, the expert from the prosecution side. They're really going back and forth over the definition of postpartum psychosis, the symptoms that are included in there. And as you mentioned, Dr. Mack concluded from his assessment that Lindsay Clancy was not in a psychotic state whenever these killings took place. So as you can imagine, that was pretty tense, the defense's chance to counteract that narrative that we saw come out of the other expert testimony. But they're going to continue with potentially 2 more rebuttal witnesses for the prosecution as well, and they're expected to be tense.
Misty, it has been weeks of testimony that has been emotional from mental health experts, hospital staff, law enforcement. As we near the end here, what are you listening for during closing arguments?
So the central issue was Lindsay Clancy's state of mind at the time of the killings, and that's taking the mental health issues, the diagnosis. Is it depression? Is it psychosis? And putting that aside to a certain degree to talk about the legal standard, which is different than a medical diagnosis. Did she know right from wrong, or could she not control her actions? And that's going to be central in those closing arguments to both sides.
Stephen, once the case is in the hands of the jury, what happens next?
Yeah, so the jurors, the 12 jurors will go into deliberations. They can write questions if they have them. And of course, this could take days. This could take hours. It's really, there's no set time. And then once they reach a verdict, they will, of course, announce that to the court. They are required to be unanimous, though. And if they do not reach that unanimous decision, the judge will urge them to go back and try again, but it could end in a mistrial if they do not reach that decision.
And we're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but walk us through the options here. There are a few verdict options available to this jury. Walk us through them.
So the highest level crime, premeditated murder with extreme atrocity and cruelty. That's murder in the 1st degree. Also, murder in the 2nd degree is an option. That's a murder that is not premeditated but is intentional. Then you have lack of criminal responsibility, which is right from wrong, lose control. And then, Christine, there's a debate going on right now that the judge will rule on later today. Will involuntary manslaughter also be on that verdict sheet? That would be reckless disregard for a known risk. The defense wants that. The defense also wants an instruction on involuntary intoxication, saying the taking of the medication, the side effects of the medication, or the titration, weaning off of the medication, impacted Lindsay Clancy's mental state, made it impossible to formulate that intent.
It'll also be interesting what kind of questions maybe the jury asks as they get in there with their notepads and all of these 5 weeks of emotional testimony. I mean, were they moved by all of this conflicting reaction from the medical profession?
Yes, and I think another piece of this, the jury in this jurisdiction will have a lot of the documents that went into evidence in that jury room with them. That's not always the case. They can ask for readbacks of testimony. Yep. But Christine, just a reminder, there's certain things we did not see as the public. We did not hear the 911 call. We only know the content. We did not see the autopsy photographs that are a central part of this case. The jury did. So that's going to be in there as well.
All right, Stephen Romo, Misty Marris, thank you so much.